Ladies and gentlemen, week number 2 is here at Awthentik and The Beard. This is the Parlay, your spot for last-minute fantasy football advice and NFL bets regarding every single game in week 2. I'm super stoked. This is the show where my co-host, the left side to my strong side, gave you guys last week the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Cincinnati Bengals. And speaking of the man, the myth, the legend, let me bring in Mr. Awthentik in the building. What's going on, sir?
What it do, big dog? How you living, man?
I am living. Listen, we were talking right before we went on air. I said, this is a crazy week here. There is a lot going on. We're going to try our best to get the injuries. We're going to try our best to get you the players, the picks. I mean, there's a lot of question marks this close to kickoff right now.
That's definitely true, man. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest question marks for me is, are my New York Giants going to get to 2-0? Because you remember when Tweeter and the homies went to the bar in Varsity Blues and he couldn't focus the next day. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now with my New York Giants. I'm trying to get this fantasy stuff in line, man, but I'm so excited about this game, man. Big opportunity for the Commanders and a big opportunity for the Giants to go to 2-0, man. But yeah, man, we'll see how this fantasy thing goes, too, because I'm 1-0 in fantasy as well. So trying to get these dubs today, man, and keep the train moving. You know what I'm saying?
Big shout-out to everybody who's watching us right now on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you guys haven't already. And if you are brand new here, say hello to us in the chat and definitely give us a little bit of a subscribe button action. Let's say some hellos to the lovely people in the chat before we jump right into our top picks for every position in fantasy football this week. Kelly, the Ecom mom. What's going on, Kelly? Good to see you. Welcome back.
What up?
Hope all is doing well. Another name I haven't said yet this season, Jay Gene is in the building.
Ooh, Jay Gene
what's going
in the
on?
building. Gang, what's going on, fam?
Big shout out to the homie Cernock from Cernock's Connection in the building. If you guys aren't following Cernock on Instagram, give him a follow. He is your go-to for all that vintage t-shirt, hoodies, crew necks, hats. He's got all the Giants, Washington Commanders gear you guys can imagine. Speaking of Commanders, big shout out to Kevin, the PRF.
Salute.
One of our Day One Commander supporters. Appreciate you. And then speaking of Day Ones, big shout out to Lax Ofofo, the winner of this past Thursday's trivia giveaway. He won a Hakeem Nicks game-worn patch card numbered. Big shout out to Lax Ofofo for the victory. Edward Squires is in the building, everybody's favorite GQ name here on YouTube. Big shout out to Waterfly is in the building as well. I see Kalen Dragon 56, Mac the Giants fan, J-Mo's in the building. Shout out to the AATB fam. Luke is checking in from Australia. No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. AATB community is deep in here. David's in the building. Jeff Maldo is in the building. Kyle Key,
Salute.
Houston Texans is in the building. Mr. Mini Guy. Shout out to everybody. Sabrina's in the building.
What up, Sabrina?
Big shout out to James Funk, always holding us down in the Facebook stream.
Ooh, that's
Says
a good one.
Jalen Waddle or Curtis Samuel.
Waddle's going up against the Ravens today.
Ravens, yeah.
Samuel's going up against the Lions.
Yeah.
I like the matchup a little better for Samuel. I can't front. I think Waddle is the better player in this matchup, but I'm going Samuel on this one.
Yeah, it's tough. I think you have two good guys who are monsters when it comes to PPR because they're going to get a lot of touches. But matchup wise, just a little bit, I like Curtis Samuel, but I don't think you can go wrong either way. This one is tough. Carson Wentz or Aaron Rodgers?
Man, I'd have to go Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to get to Carson Wentz here in a little bit, who I don't think is going to have a bad game or nothing like that. But Aaron Rodgers coming off a pretty horrible game week 1, wide receiver dropping passes.
Yeah.
I got to go Aaron Rodgers on this one. But, I mean, I don't think it'll hurt you that, drastic either way. I think that it won't be much drop-off if you went Carson Wentz or vice versa, man. So, I mean, I don't think that quarterback position right there will hurt you too bad.
I don't think I would ever say this in any point in my life. It's a coin flip, Carson Wentz and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Carson Wentz came out the gate hot. He's obviously going to throw the rock. I expect that game to be high scoring. But Aaron Rodgers against Chicago, who he owns after a bad game, I mean, the storylines line up for you. So I think I would lean towards Aaron Rodgers just a bit more.
Yeah.
Big shout out. I see Sabrina, 10 or less New York Giants. Caden Wade, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. And big shout out to
is definitely playing. That's a good note.
Lax for the $4.99 super chat. Says I could play two. Who should I go with? Michael Thomas, Terry McLaurin, and AJ Dillon.
I'm taking the 2 wide receivers.
I think I'm going to take the 2 wide receivers also. It's tough because Terry McLaurin is in a situation where they're spreading the ball out everywhere right now. We don't have a real good feel yet of that target share. So for me, it would be the 2 wide receivers as well.
Did you see the sound effects with Terry McLaurin where he was calling for the ball? They showed it on Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
I love seeing that because exactly what I tweeted during that game. Terry McLaurin only having 1 target when they were like entering the third quarter, I believe. And he's saying the same thing that whole game. Like they're playing soft cover 2. They're playing soft cover 2. He's playing lazy. And then bam, you get to play over the top. I'd look for McLaurin to have actually a little bit more target share this week, man. That was a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit surprising week 1 that he wasn't getting the ball in the first half that much.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting to see as these weeks progress, the snap counts, the target shares, and things like that on all of these teams and all these position categories. Got to give a big shout out to the homie Lalo. Is in the building.
What up, big dog? How you living,
What's
man?
going on, Lalo?
New name, okay. I like it. The Wild Nation.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about those Raiders. At least I am going to be talking about those Raiders today for sure. So we're going to get to one more question, and then we're going to jump right in. Don't forget, if you guys have questions throughout the stream, drop them in the chat. We're going to do our best to answer as many questions as possible as we go throughout the stream. And then right when we close out, we'll do a rapid fire as far as your questions go before we get out of here. Jack K wants to know, Terry McLaurin or Michael
It's like the last question, but you got to pick one.
Yeah.
The Bucs defense is really good, so I don't like the matchup so much for Michael Thomas. Yeah, I'm going Terry McLaurin, man. Detroit allowed a lot of points last week to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm looking for the same thing here in this matchup between the Commanders and the Lions.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm going to have to go Terry McLaurin. That matchup scares me. The way that, Tampa Bay's defense looked. I know it was against Dallas, and that offense was not very good, but nonetheless, Dallas was the only team that didn't score a touchdown in week 1. Yep. So, you have to give a little bit of love to Tampa Bay for that sort of, defensive strategy and matchup. And we got a couple of Twitch questions really fast. Vengeances. That's a tough one.
Shout out. The homie V holding us down one time on Twitch.
There we go, V. We're going to go V. James Robinson or Michael Carter at the flex. I absolutely love Michael Carter today.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll go Michael Carter on this one, too. James Robinson. ATN had a good showing last week, too, so no telling what the split carry going to be over there. I like Michael Carter in this one, even though I don't like his team.
And Iron Ryan. Devonta Smith or Chase Claypool? Wow. That's a tough one.
Iron Rhino, I believe.
Iron Rhino? We're going to go Iron Rhino.
Yeah, there's an O with that. I don't know what Ryan ends with an O, but that's a tough matchup, though, right there. Chase Claypool, Devonta. I do like Devonta this week. I think he's going to have a bigger game than he had week 1. He struggled week 1. Didn't get many targets. He only had 4 targets. Chase Claypool, quarterback dependent, man. Last week I said Mitchell Trubisky is one of my sleeper quarterbacks. That was not the vibe, okay? Stay away from Mitchell Trubisky. I don't like Chase Claypool until we maybe get a quarterback change, unless Mitch does something drastic. But he looked awful, man. He had so many opportunities in that game to put it away late and struggled. It seemed like the 4th opportunity, finally they get it done and get the game-winning field goal kick and whatnot. But, yeah, I think I might have to go Devonta Smith on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Devonta Smith. I think they're going to force a way to get him the ball after no catches last week. And big shout out to David said that guy's name sounds like a beardism.
Yeah, a lot of weapons in Philadelphia, man. It's going to be hard to share the rock over there, especially when they're a run-dependent team. Now you got, A.J. Brown over there. Got to get him the ball. He went off, had a career high last week, and I think Devonta Smith is kind of like catching the back end of that. But if teams are starting to play this the smart way, they're going to double up on A.J. Brown, which should open up some stuff for Smith.
Absolutely. All right, let's jump right into our top plays of fantasy per position this week. We're going to go ahead and get you guys started with the quarterback position week 2. Before we jump into the quarterbacks, we got to give a big shout out to one of our quarterbacks in the Awthentik and The Beard community, quarterbacking from Australia. Big shout out to Lucas.
Good God,
for
Lucas.
the $100 Australia super chat. Says, super proud that my nephew got his first start at Texas A&M yesterday, who had a big win against Miami. Had some up and downs, but super proud of Jordan Moko. Had to share with other fam. Everybody, give a big shout out to Lucas and his nephew getting his first start yesterday at Texas A&M. That is huge.
That's lit, bro.
Love to see it, man. Congratulations. I know that's a proud moment as an uncle. So big shout out to you, Lucas. Big shout out to your family.
Lucas,
and
man, we
congratulations.
about to start calling you big uncle with the way you dropping these super chats on this channel, brother. We appreciate the support, man. Shout out to nephew one time, man. And I'm digging the name, Jordan Moko. I like that. That got a nice little ring to it, man. So best of luck to your nephew, man. And thank you for supporting the channel as always, man. Lucas, one of our #1 supporters over here at Awthentik and The Beard, man. I got big memorabilia from my homie, man. So appreciate you all the way over there from Australia dropping
Big
that super
shout
chat
out
for us, man.
Big shout out. So Awthentik, we're going to start with you today. Tell me who you got as your top 3 quarterbacks this week in fantasy football.
Well, we know how I've been doing. Week 1 was fantastic with the stack with my man Josh Allen and my man Stephon Diggs. So you can expect to see both of them in my top rankings as far as quarterbacks and wide receivers go. So I'm starting this off with Josh Allen. My number 2 and number 3 might surprise you a little bit. My number 2 is going to be Russell Wilson at the Texans. Last week, 29 of 42, 340 yards, 1 touchdown. If it wasn't for the 2 fumbles on the goal line from his running backs loafing, that game wouldn't even have been close. Told you about that. And my number 3 might surprise you a little bit too. I'm going Jalen Hurts Monday night at the Vikings. 333 total yards, 1 rushing touchdown last week in a game that people said he was kind of bumming it. So for me, if you can get 333 total yards and a touchdown and they think you bumming it, imagine what it's going to look like when you really flying high. So I'd look for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles really do some damage. And I told you guys last week, I don't trust Kirk Cousins on Monday night in front of those bright, shiny lights, man. I don't think he's ready for some Monday night football.
And I'm going to go – I got one in there that's the same as yours. One of my top 3 quarterbacks is Josh Allen. Until proven otherwise, Josh Allen's going to be in that top 3 as far as fantasy quarterbacks go and real quarterbacks, if you ask me. He finished number 2 only behind Patrick Mahomes last week. He had 33.48 fantasy points in PPR leagues last week, which is a huge number. I'm going to go also. I'm going to toss up between Matthew Stafford and Carson Wentz. I'm going to go Carson Wentz as one of my top 3 fantasy quarterbacks this week. I just like that matchup with the Detroit Lions. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in that game. As long as he can, if he doesn't turn the ball over 2 times last week, he's your number 2 fantasy quarterback of the week last week. So I'm going to go Carson Wentz. And my surprise, who I think is going to finish in the top 3 quarterbacks at, this week in fantasy, is going to be Derek Carr. I
like that. Who's the matchup again with the Raiders?
Arizona Cardinals, who gave up the most points to quarterbacks in week 1 last week. So I really like Derek Carr. I think he has the second best matchup this week as far as quarterbacks go, and I think he's going to have an absolutely monster game. So I'm going with Derek Carr, Josh Allen, and Carson Wentz as my top 3 fantasy quarterbacks this week.
I like it. So what quarterback are you sitting?
I am going to sit. I've never thought I'd say this in my life, but I'm going to sit Tom Brady. I got to sit Tom Brady. I think that he scares me every time he plays the Saints. We still, Mike Evans is a little banged up. Godwin's out. Fournette now is popped up on the injury list. So I'm a little worried about that situation with Tom Brady. So I'm going to sit Tom Brady this week. And then who are you going to sit?
Get your YouTube editing tools ready to go, because I got a feeling about this one right there that you just said with Tom Brady. It's either going to go really good or really bad. Now, we know about the Saints matchups, right? And they have struggled against the Saints. They had 2 losses in the regular season last year to the Saints. But the stats, I think, might have overlooked it. Although they lose the games, I feel like Tom Brady still plays pretty decent. They probably will be playing from behind if it goes the way it has gone in the past there. But I think that's a risky sit right there. I think a less risky one would be Ryan Tannehill versus the Bills. Ryan Tannehill, against the Giants defense that was banged up, missing both edge rushers last week, he played pretty well. Don't get me wrong. He played a clean game, over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. He made the throw, I thought, to win the game, set up the 47-yard field goal that their field goal kicker ended up missing. But I don't like him against this Bills defense. This Bills defense might be one of the better defenses in the league. And I forget, what's my man Frazier? I forget his first name. I'd be wanting to say Joe Frazier. Down goes Frazier, but shout out their defensive coordinator, Frazier. Leslie Frazier. He's been doing some damage over there. Now, you look at what Stafford did last week against the Bills, man. He was pressured on 19 of 50 of his dropbacks. He was sacked 7 times through 3 interceptions. If it goes anything like that, Ryan Tannehill is going to be in for a nightmare. So my sit is going to be Ryan Tannehill this week for week 2.
And then sleeper. Who is your sleeper quarterback this week?
My sleeper's one of your top 3, man. Carson Wentz got no business being in the top 3, so I had to put him on. I had to put him on that sleeper list. I got him at 4 touchdowns from last week, man. I mean, definitely balled out, man. You're right. If he can keep the turnovers low, he should finish, probably a top 3, at least a top 5 quarterback this week. He's got a very favorable matchup against the Lions, man, and they allowed Jalen Hurts to throw over 200 yards. So I mean, Carson Wentz should have no problem putting up some numbers in that game.
My sleeper this week is actually one of my sleepers from last week. He's still a sleeper because I don't think anybody is talking about him, and that's Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota. He had 12 carries. This is your quarterback. Your quarterback had 12 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. If you're getting those type of running numbers from your quarterback, he's a must play because that's you're basically getting 2 position players in one position at the quarterback. And then he threw for 215 yards. He's going against the Los Angeles Rams. They're going to be playing from behind. They're going to be chucking the ball all over the field. So I love Marcus Mariota in this situation today. He's definitely a sleeper quarterback, and he's probably going to get bumped off of this sleeper list if he plays well this week, and he might end up being one of these top 3
he better
guys.
keep playing well because the rookie's on his heels, and if they don't win some games, man, week 6, week 7, Marcus Mariota might be sitting on that bench.
Listen, I love Desmond Ridder, but I mean Marcus Mariota, if he plays like how he's playing, they keep him in the game. Took an
L, right? Took an L first week, right?
Took an L. That was a crazy game. They were winning. Game. They should have won. They should have won that game. But
they should have,
woulda, coulda. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I had a whole bag of shoulda, woulda, couldas, I'd be a rich man. But those are our quarterback top 3s, our sleepers, and our sits. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next position group, which is going to be the running back position. I'm going to start with my top 3 running backs because I'm pretty sure we both have one of the same running backs in the top 3. And if we start with Awthentik, he might talk about him for 25 minutes. So,
going to a game preview.
Saquon Barkley. I mean, the guy was an absolute monster last week. He was your number 1 fantasy running back last week in PPR leagues with 27.4 points. I mean, listen, we talked about this all week already about how many targets he got out the backfield, how many routes he ran, how many touches in general he had. He's an absolute machine right now. We're hoping that this is something that is going to only get better and move forward throughout an entire season without any injuries. I love Saquon Barkley in this matchup. I mean, he's going against the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers were, I want to say they were the 2nd worst rush defense in week 1. So definitely looking for Saquon Barkley to build off of an already mountaintop of a performance in week 1. My second running back is going to be Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, who I said last week was going to be in the top 3. He was a number 3 running back in week 1 with 23.5 points. He's going to have a bigger workload this week with no Michael Pittman Jr. in the lineup for the Indianapolis Colts. And my number 3 top running back, I like to throw in these wrenches, You know, like you get a couple of the guys everybody's expecting, and then you get a guy like Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds is the guy in Miami. We're used to Miami over these past couple of seasons having this stable of running backs. They definitely have some guys there, but he took down 73% of the running back opportunities in week 1. What's even better, I love these running backs that can catch the ball. He played on 78% of the third downs in week 1. So that means he's going to be getting some targets out of the backfield as well. And they're going against Baltimore, who had the number 30 run defense in week 1. So those are going to be my top 3 running backs. And right before we get to your top 3 running backs, let's get to Lax Ofofo with a $4.99 super chat. Says, I can only flex one. Dameon Pierce, Rex Burkhead, or Jahan Dotson.
I'm going with the Commander.
I'm going with the Commander also. We're going to go Jahan Dotson. We're going to talk about Dameon Pierce a little bit, at least I am, and Rex Burkhead. Those two guys, I mean, it's not really what I think everybody thought, except for maybe Awthentik.
Right, because y'all, when they was talking about Dameon Pierce, I'm like, who in the hell is a Dameon Pierce at the beginning of the year? Getting a lot of hype entering the season, and they talked about how they might split carries over there, and I think it was about 50-50, 60-40 last week.
Yeah, it was like a 60-40 for sure.
When you splitting carries with Rex Burkhead, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, dog. Rex Burkhead been in the league way too long, it feels like, too, dog. It's about time to hang them cleats up.
I mean, hey, you getting the burn. You might as well keep, you know what I'm saying, trucking, right?
When you get older, it's all about getting that bag, getting that check for the least amount of work. You know, when you sitting on the bench is one thing.
Triple G looked really old last night. I mean,
a little bit. Eighth, ninth, 10th round, though, you start to
that
young Triple G vibe.
He turned it up a little bit. Those scorecards, though, were a little
a little skewed. Yeah.
A little skewed. One more question before we get to Awthentik's running backs. Who do I flex? Only one. David Montgomery, Elijah Moore, Brandon Cooks. Guys are bringing heat questions today.
David Montgomery. The Packers defense kind of was like a bit of a surprise week 1. They're supposed to be a lot better. Mm-hmm. They struggled week 1. I don't know what to think of the Bears yet. They got that W against the 49ers in that monsoon they was in. I like Elijah Moore a little bit. Brandon Cooks. Davis Mills and Brandon Cooks do have a little bit of chemistry. I didn't check the week 1 numbers. I'm going Brandon Cooks in this one.
I think I'm going to agree with you. Until Zach Wilson gets back, I'm a little iffy on Elijah Moore. David Montgomery, like you said, that Bears offensive line is kind of sketchy. Montgomery played pretty well, but I don't like that matchup against the Green Bay Packers. So I'm going to also go Cooks, as did Kai001 in the chat.
Hey,
so Awthentik, tell me what you got for your top 3 running backs. Or should I just say top 2, because I know who one is. Yeah.
Let's call him the bottom 2. We know. Shout out my man Saquon Barkley. We need another big game today too, man. I had Jonathan Taylor in there as well, number 2. He's going up against the Jaguars. We know that matchup last time, man. Everything on the line to get into the playoffs. Jonathan Taylor couldn't even break 100 yards in that game. Carson Wentz, QBR 4. That was pretty bad. They struggle against the Jaguars. I don't know what it is. Jaguars ain't really a good team. Haven't been a good team, at least. They're getting better. But I do like that matchup. 161 yards last week against Houston. My third one might be a little bit of a surprise, a guy who I think flew under the radar a little bit week 1, and that's Nick Chubb. I love the matchup here against the Jets. And I know that it took Lamar Jackson and them a little bit of while, to get clicking over there and get that W. That game was a little bit scarier than we thought for a little bit. But I like Nick Chubb against the Jets last week, 22 rushes. That shows you the commitment that the Browns have in him, especially with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. 141 yards, 6.4 yards per carry last week. Kareem Hunt had a pretty decent game, too, with the 11 carries for 46 yards. But I think that shows you the kind of volume, 2-1, that Chubb should lead that running back room. So I like Chubb going up against the Jets. And I wanted to throw in a little bit of a unsung top. We'll call him top 3 since Saquon Barkley. We already know he's the GOAT in this category right now. And that's Christian McCaffrey, who's coming off a horrible game. But the Giants' whole game plan, today is going to be to stop Christian McCaffrey. Only had 14 touches week 1. Ben McAdoo, former New York Giants offensive coordinator and head coach, you got to get it together over there. Hopefully it takes you another game here to do that, because my Giants would love to come out of here with a victory in week 2. But only 10 carries, 33 yards. But I'd expect Christian McCaffrey to boost up the charts just a little bit. I think they're going to give him a couple more touches this week.
And so after your top 3, and Saquon. Saquon's like in his own little category. You got to take somebody and you got to sit him down.
Yeah.
Who are you sitting this week at the
I think this is
position?
easy, man. I'm going to keep it in the NFC East. I'm going Zeke Elliott here, man. I'm keeping Zeke Elliott on watch until Dak Prescott gets back in the lineup. This Bengals team coming in is going to be extremely hungry for a W. They played extremely ugly last week. 5 turnovers from the quarterback position, 4 interceptions. So I'd look for the Cowboys to be playing from behind a lot, and Zeke hasn't been the same. I mean, I saw the tweet you put up. I talked about the volume and the attempts going down by year, which that means something. But I also think it, kind of shows you that they don't have as much faith in him, and they're looking for a way to kind of split the carries with Pollard. The running game shouldn't be a big deal. I mean, even though I do think that they're with a backup quarterback, they'll try to rely on that running game early. But we know the Bengals are going to know that that's going to be the game plan. They're going to stack boxes and do what they can to stop Zeke. So I got Zeke on the bench this week.
Listen, I have to sit a couple of people. This isn't just like, hypothetical for the YouTubes. This is real life sitting action going on here. I had to sit Cam Akers and Dameon Pierce this week until I get a better idea of the scope of work out of those two guys. I just can't play them. It's too risky.
That's why you said
risky.
You're going with
Rashad
Penny.
Rashad Penny was one of those situations. The other situation I have to start Rashad Penny is because Alvin Kamara is not going to be playing today. So
true that.
So that's why I'm playing Rashad Penny. But yeah, I am real life and hypothetically sitting Cam Akers and Dameon Pierce this week until we get some more information on how these carries are going to work, and until I see either one of them or both of them, kind of have that big momentum swing as far as production goes. I'm going to have to sit both of those guys. But I will give you a couple of sleepers. Cordero Patterson. I mean, we talked about Cordero Patterson a lot last year, and I think we kind of just were not – because he tailed off a little bit towards the end of the year. So I wasn't sure going into this season how they were planning on using him. But it was evident they love Cordero Patterson. Cordero Patterson had 25 touches last week, career high. A career high in touches. Touches are going to be a combination between carries and receptions. So a career high, 25 touches last week. He was 84% of running back opportunities was ran through Cordero Patterson. So I think Cordero Patterson is going to be a guy this week. When you're playing against the Los Angeles Rams, you're going to probably be playing from behind, especially when you're a team like the Atlanta Falcons. And if you're a running back that's going to be on a team that's playing from behind, you better expect to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. And who better to catch the ball out of the backfield than Cordero Patterson? Also, my second guy that I want you guys to keep your eye out on, we talked about him earlier in the show, Michael Carter. I talked about him last week. He came through. He showed everybody that he is the number one running back for the New York Jets. He had 60% of the snaps and every single goal line run. He had every single goal line run for the New York Jets, and he was on the field for 70% of the third downs. Once again, you need a guy who's going to be playing on third down, who's going to be catching the ball on a team that's going to be playing from behind. I love Michael Carter. Those are my sleepers. Who you got as a sleeper this week?
I got one major sleeper, and this is a true sleeper right here. Probably not in a lot of lineups. Probably a free agent in a lot of leagues. I'm going Nyheim Hines.
I like it.
Now, look, we know that Taylor getting all the carries over there, but Nyheim Hines was second in receptions over there. So I think he's like the second target as far as the receiving game goes because the Colts lack wide receivers. I mean, they really only got Michael Pittman over there. So, last week
he's not playing.
Yards, and he's not playing. So that's a bonus for you as well. Second in receptions, second in yards in week 1 for the Colts. He had 6 targets. 3 of the targets were over 5 yards. So I like Nyheim Hines in this game as a sneaky little flex, maybe a running back too, especially if you're, looking like the Beard over here and you got some problems at the running back with Kamara and you're starting guys like Rashad Penny and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to scoop up your boy Nyheim Hines before these 1 o'clock games start.
We are keeping our eye out right now. It is 11:30, so the injury reports are going to start coming in. I did not see Marjorie in here yet, but we are going to keep our eye on it. It looks like this one's just coming in. Julio Jones does not look like he is going to play today, which is
so
another
for him.
Yeah, and
inactive. Yep.
Yeah, and that's another huge blow to that Bucks offense, somebody we talked about benching, and that is Tom Brady. Big shout out to Lax044 for the $4.99 super chat. Says, should I start Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt or start Chubb and Rashad Penny? It's always tough to start.
Do you know what Rashad Penny did last week?
Pedestrian. I think
the good thing about starting both Chubb and Kareem Hunt, you're guaranteed to get a touchdown. You just about guaranteed to have at least one touchdown. You might have two. Sometimes when you start just one running back, you might take Nick Chubb, and then when they get down to the goal line, Kareem Hunt comes in the game or something. I don't know about Rashad Penny, man. I got to stay away from Penny. I'm going both Cleveland running backs on this one.
I never would do this except for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. I think that's just a smart play. I mean, you made the perfect point. You're gonna get a touchdown, right?
Yeah,
out of one of the two of them.
And then they're playing the Jets.
Yeah.
What if they start to let Kareem Hunt possibly take kind of like some first team kind of snaps if they get that big lead, and kind of just let Chubb kind of chill on the sidelines after a big game. So I think, that yields well for you, man.
What's crazy is Kareem Hunt actually played more snaps in week 1 than Nick Chubb did.
Right. Less carries.
More snaps.
Half the carries.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So it's very interesting. We're going to get to a couple more questions really fast before we get to the wide receiver position. We got Miles Sanders or Josh Jacobs.
I'm coin flipping on that, man. Either one. I like either one. I might like Josh Jacobs a little bit more with the matchup.
Yeah, but literally the exact same thing. I need to just carry a quarter next to me for every show here. I'm gonna go Josh Jacobs by a coin flip. Just too many hands in Philadelphia right now. Josh Jacobs is a clear number 1 guy in Las Vegas, and I love the matchup. Kai got one right here. He says, do I flex Landry over Allen Robinson?
He's one category early. I'm taking Landry over Robinson. And I'll give you a little bit of a couple of numbers to back that up. Because for the next segment here, I'll let the cat out the bag here. My sleeper was Jarvis Landry. And he looked like Jarvis Landry of old last week. He caught 7 receptions on 9 targets for 114. So, yeah, I like Jarvis Landry in this one. Allen Robinson is still kind of getting, accustomed to where his role is going to fit in that offense. Doesn't quite do the same things like an Odell Beckham. It's very different style, big body wide receiver. So I think they're still looking for his role over there. I'm going with Jarvis Landry in this one.
I listen, Allen Robinson had a tough first week, but that matchup is the Falcons, and they are horrible against the slot. They gave up 100% target catch rate to the slot receiver in week 1.
Robinson's not going to be playing a lot of slot.
But I mean, he in this matchup, he might be playing some slot. You might see him playing some slot. It's just something to keep your eye on.
Week 1, he was out. He was outside, flexed a lot of the time. I think he only had 2 targets week 1.
Yeah, it was a rough week, and one of them was in the beginning. I think one of them was in the end. So it was no action in the middle.
Somebody made a little meme about him too, where they were like, they brought Allen Robinson in to run complex routes, and it showed like all his routes that he ran in a compilation, and it was like literally like the laziest 4 and 5 yard comeback routes the whole entire game, which is just interesting. I think they're kind of using him as a decoy over there.
And Landry had a good game week 1, so
yeah,
I
9 targets, 7
well.
receptions, 114 yards. That's a great game. That's Jarvis Landry back to OG Miami vibes.
Yeah. So we do have a couple of quick injury announcements. Leonard Fournette is in. J.K. Dobbins is out again, and DeAndre Swift is in. Those are your offensive injuries that just came in. Oh, big shout out to Marjorie in the chat, holding us down. Appreciate you. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the wide receiver position for week number 2. All right, week number 2, wide receiver position. You got some top guys. Awthentik, who are they?
Yeah, talked about one already, man. Stephon Diggs, man. Big game last week versus the Rams. I love this matchup against the Titans. The Giants wide receivers got, pretty decent receptions last week. Richie James was doing a little bit of damage out of the slot, man. And I think Stephon Diggs, man, a premier wide receiver like this, he is going to feast on this defense. Let's not forget last week went up against arguably the best cornerback in football at Jalen Ramsey, and he had 8 receptions for 122 yards. 6 of those receptions came in the first half. 1 touchdown. Love Stephon Diggs. I love Jamar Chase against the Cowboys, man. Jamar Chase might be the best wide receiver in the league. Don't take this too crazy, but I think he's dealing with lesser of a quarterback than the other 2 top guys for me right now, which is Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, and also Devontae Adams. Like, I like Joe Burrow, but I'm starting to pump the brakes on the Joe Burrow hype train just a little bit. But I love Jamar Chase, 10 receptions last week, 129 yards. That was versus the Steelers. And this week against the Cowboys, man, that defense is going to be on the field a ton. So I love Jamar Chase in this game. And, man, for me right now, the best wide receiver in the game, and I know I left Cooper Kupp off that list, Justin Jefferson, man. That boy has been going crazy. Had his best game, his best career game last week. And he's going up against the Eagles this week, man. He was a wide receiver 1 in fantasy last week with 39.4 fantasy points in PPR leagues, man. He had almost 37% of the target share, man. So love Justin Jefferson. I'm going to go ahead and give you my sit right now after giving you those 3 starters. I'm sitting Amari Cooper, man. Jacoby Brissett, not the vibes over there right now. Last week versus Carolina, he had 3 receptions for 17 yards on 6 targets. So I'm sitting Amari. I got Jefferson, Diggs, and Chase coming out as the top 3 wide receivers this week.
I got to go Cooper Kupp. That matchup he's going to feast, and it's evident that he's going to get 10 catches a game, I feel like. Like, it just feels like he's on pace to get 10 catches a game at least every week. And I mean, if you're getting 10 catches a game, you're automatically at 10 points in a PPR league. You're not even talking about yards and touchdowns.
Right.
So I'm going Cooper Kupp as my number 1 guy right now. And then you got to have Justin Jefferson at number 2. That's an interesting matchup. I feel like he's got a little bit of a hate towards the Eagles too, even though, it's not like a big story or anything, but I mean, they passed on him. They drafted Jalen Reagor
over there
and they passed on him. Yeah.
So that's really good to see him go back for this revenge game against the Eagles. I'm rooting for Jalen Reagor, bro. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah. He's returning punts for them. So what would be crazy is if he took back a punt prime time against the Philadelphia Eagles.
That would be dope, man.
That would be very interesting. And then listen, to round out my top 3, I got to go with a wide receiver who's, paired up with one of my top 3 quarterbacks, Davante Adams. Davante Adams, he was the number 1 guy for the Las Vegas Raiders. And at that matchup against Arizona, he's probably going to have a field day. If you guys haven't noticed this trend already, I'm heavy on the Raiders today. So I'm definitely in my top 3, Davante Adams, Justin Jefferson, and Cooper Kupp. And talking about sitting, got to sit Tyler Lockett. He just did not look like the guy. I mean, a lot of that had to do, obviously, with, the offense and the way that game pace was going. Tyler Lockett's really dependent on, I feel like, those deep passes. Didn't want to, so he, to me, until I see more of the evolution of that offense with Geno Smith, and they have DK Metcalf, they like to run the ball. So we'll see how things progress. But this week I'm sitting Tyler Lockett. And then I'm going to give you guys my sleepers. I'm on Ross St. Brown. It's not really a sleeper, but the guy is just, he's got to be named up there now in this top 15, top 10 range. The guy has had a monster stretch of games. He's had 10+ targets in 7 straight games. He's been a top 20 wide receiver in 7 straight games. You got to go Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know he's going against my Commanders, but he's definitely a guy to keep your eye out on. And then we're going to throw out Drake London. He saw 82% of the routes ran for the Atlanta Falcons in week 1, 32% of the target share, and he is averaging 13 yards after the catch for the Falcons. I just need to see a little bit more volume from him, but he's definitely somebody to keep your eye out on. And then 2 guys that you've never heard of probably, and that's going to be Greg Dortch, wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. No DeAndre Hopkins suspension. No Andy Isabella. No Rondell Moore. Greg Dortch had a great week last week. Greg Dortch. And then the last one that you guys need to know about is going to be Ashton Dulin. Ashton Dulin, wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. No Michael Pittman Jr. So keep your eye out on those 2 guys that you've never heard of before. Big shout out to Bluegrass Picker for the $5 super chat. Says, yes, Lightning is Great.
Lighting is great.
Oh, lighting is great. Go Chiefs. Bluegrass picker. Shout out, Anthony. Appreciate you as always.
Salute, fam.
So we just ran through. I got to get your sleeper.
I gave you Jarvis Landry before
Jarvis
that because
Landry,
I think it was Kai was asking about him. So definitely like Jarvis Landry for sure.
Tyreek, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle. Do I put Miles Sanders ahead of any of these three?
I'd keep your eyes on Evans.
Yeah.
But
Injury.
yeah, probably not. No.
Yeah.
It was the three wide receivers right there. There's one sleeper you talked about. Oh, I'm on St. Brown. He's not a sleeper no more. Most consecutive games with over 8 receptions and a touchdown in NFL history right now. He's not a sleeper no more. That dude's balling out. He's a guy.
He's on the list now, right?
Yeah, he's a guy.
He's a guy. I'll tell you what though. We got to get to this read really fast because
yep. I'm glad you said that.
I think it's time. I've reached that time where it's time for it to get. You get shape ups. It's time to get a Manscaped up. I think I've hit
scape up.
A scape up.
Hopefully, it's not another barber doing your scape up.
I am the man behind the Clippers when it comes to a Manscaped up.
That's what's up. All right, let's get this read, man. Support for Awthentik and The Beard, the Parlay, is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Bars. Manscaped Performance Pack is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code AATB at manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code AATB at manscaped.com. And unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Shout out to Manscaped, man, for sponsoring this episode of Awthentik and The Beard, the Parlay, man. Doing great things for the football community, especially for the content creators on the come up. Big love to the Manscaped folks. I need to rock that shirt maybe next episode. That thing fresh, sitting in that bag, ready to go.
It's soft. I think when I first told you that, I think you thought I said it was small because you were like you're the one who picked the size. But
you said it was soft.
It's soft. It's soft.
Let's pray to God that she don't never say that. It's soft or it's small. Y'all know what it is, man.
Well, if you put the ball balm after you use the lawnmower, it's nice and soft. Nice and soft. Well, the balls are nice and soft.
Tom Brady vibes, man. The flake game. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Manscaped one time, man. All right, so we're going to go rapid fire through these games.
Rapid fire through the games.
So I want to ask you real quick, though. The first two, should we move them a little bit?
I moved them all the way down to the bottom of the 1 o'clocks.
Good man.
So we're gonna go on my pace because that's first game. New York Jets. They're 0-1.
First game is the Jet. My order is not looking like your order then.
Oh, shout out to the graphics department. Yo!
We asked about it. We talked about the Browns not having a logo and whatnot, so I had to put in an email to the graphics department pronto, and they got on it week 2, man. They on it, man. So new Browns logo. A lot of people's hating on this logo. I'm kind of a fan of it. Gives me Cleveland Indian vibes with the little smiling Indian vibe. I used to like that logo a lot. It's kind of got some little bit of humor to it, a little cartoon vibes. I kind of like it. I'm not too mad at it.
Shout out to the graphics department. All right, the New York Jets, they're 0-1. They're headed to Cleveland. The Browns are 1-0. The Browns are 6.5-point favorites. The over-under in this game is 39.5 points. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me who you got.
Easy, man. I'm going to take the over in this one. I definitely think we're going to get there on the strength of the Browns running game. I'm taking the Browns to cover in this one, man. The Jets are just, man, they're in a bad place right now. Flacco struggling. I got to go Browns. This is an easy pick for me, man.
That 6.5 points, though, is a little sketchy. I mean, Joe Flacco didn't look really, like much of the old Flacco. Look, over under 39.5.
Yes, pretty low. But you never know with this. This one be like 14-6 or something.
All right, we're in rapid fire. Give me the Browns. I'm going to take the Browns to win. I'm going to take the Browns minus 6.5. I'm going to take the over 39.5. It's the NFL in 2022. You can't be out here scoring a combined total of 39 points.
I'm going under. I'm swapping it out, and I'm going under. They're going to run the ball all game, so I'm taking the under in this one, man. Like I said, like 14-6, something like that.
All right, next up on the slate is going to be the New England Patriots, who are 0-1. They are 2.5-point favorites. They are heading to Pittsburgh. How are the Patriots a favorite in Pittsburgh? The over-under is 40.5 points here. Listen, Mac Jones got the back spasms. He's gonna didn't need a bacchiotomy, but he's gonna need some help. That offense, the offense looks like they need a bacchiotomy because I don't know what's going on with that offense in New England. Listen, the Steelers are coming off of a huge win. And they're playing at home. I think the Patriots are going to start 0-2 here. Give me the New England Patriots to lose, to not cover the spread that they're favored by, which is absolutely insane. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 2.5. I'm going to take the under here, 40.5. This might be ugly. I'm
right with you, man. I'm taking the Steelers. I'm taking the under in this one, too. I think the reason why the Patriots probably favored is because how terrible Mitchell Trubisky looked week 1, man. They just couldn't move the ball, man. Just struggle mode all game. But I got faith in Mike Tomlin to find a way, man. I mean, defensively, the Steelers look good. No T.J. Watt. That's going to be tough for them because he was out there making plays and he ripped whatever that was, that muscly rip on that play, trying to make a game-winning play. I still got the Steelers in this one, man. Bud Dupree. Oh, no, Bud Dupree ain't over there no more. He went to the Titans. I forgot about that. But whoever it is filling in, man, they're going to have to step up for sure. But I got the Steelers in this one outright.
Big shout out to PJ Torres for the $4.99 super chat. Says, get a logo of Tim Beard and it's fire.
Shout out to PJ one time. What's up, fam?
Shout out to everybody in the chat watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. We're cracking 80 viewers right now as we go through this rapid fire of games. The next game on the slate is going to be an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Indianapolis Colts, who are 0-1. They are 3-point favorites heading down to the swampy lands of Jacksonville. Jacksonville Jaguars are 0-1. The over-under in this game is 45. Authentic, tell me what you got.
I'm gonna take the Colts in this one for sure. The over-under is 45. I'm looking at a low-scoring game, man. Like I talked about before, the Jaguars always seem to give the Colts a little bit of problems. The Colts kind of fell a little bit flat the first week, man, against the Texans in that tie. I expected them to really handle business in that game. No Michael Pittman. Are we sure now? No Michael Pittman.
Michael Pittman is out.
That's going to be tough. I still got to go Colts in this one, man. I just think organization, everything, structure, just a little bit better than the Jaguars. I'm going for the Colts to cover in this one, and I'll take the over.
Listen. The Colts proved me right last week. They are not the Colts of last year. I love Jonathan Taylor, love Michael Pittman Jr. They still, have some problems. Matt Ryan wasn't necessarily getting it done. The Jacksonville Jaguars got their numbers. Give me the Jaguars. Give me the Jaguars +3. You know what? Take the Jaguars to win. I love Jacksonville in this game. Jacksonville has the Colts number. I like, though, the under as well. I don't think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. Give me under 45 in this matchup. Whew, man, that's a tough one, but I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I'm going to go with my gut.
This will say a lot about how good Washington is, too, because we saw them against the Jaguars last week in a tight game. If the Colts go out here and handle business, I think the Jaguars are more likely to look more like they did last year, and it might say a lot about Washington moving forward in the NFC East.
Big shout-out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says, massive salute to Awthentic and Tim, and for all diehard Giants fans in America. Slap all stinky buds, losers out of the dough. Forget about it.
Forget about it. Shout out my man Tudo one time.
High five, Italy.
High five.
All right, next game in rapid fire is going to be, I saw him in the chat, it's going to be Lucas's Miami Dolphins, who are 1-0, headed down to B-More, who is also 1-0.
To the graphics department. That was right there.
Colorway's pretty sick. Baltimore
fresh.
Ravens are favored by 3.5 points. This over-under feels more like today's NFL, 45.5 points. Authentic, tell me what you got.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all remember this, man, but when the Ravens faced the Dolphins last year, Ravens had a ton of trouble. They were doing just straight up blitzing on Lamar Jackson. He was uncomfortable the whole game, throwing interceptions. They end up losing that matchup. I think it'll be a little bit different here. I think the Ravens are going to be prepared for this matchup. This is going to be a fantastic game. This is one of my games I'm definitely keeping my eye on in the 1 o'clock slates. I'm going to take the Ravens to win this one, but I do think that Miami will cover that 3.5. I think it's going to be a tight one. Maybe like a good, I'm going to call it a 1-point game. It's going to be a 1-point game. Down to the wire, Lamar Jackson gets the final touchdown, win the game.
I literally am right there as well. I have my eyes all over this game. Miami had Baltimore's number last year. I got Tua playing in some DraftKings lineups. I got Lamar starting as my starting quarterback on one of my fantasy season-long teams. I think this game is going to be a lot of fun. Still no J.K. Dobbins. Shout out to my man, Devin Duvernay. 2 touchdowns last week. Been waiting for that guy to come out and get some burn, and he got the burn, and he made the most of it. But I love the Dolphins in this game to cover the spread. I think Ravens win somewhere between 1 and 3 points. I'm going to take the over 44.5 in this game as well. Speaking of spreads, big shout out to Nick the Wick for the $1.99 super chat. I've seen a bunch of people in the chat talking about how this spread is moving rapidly. The Giants went from 2.5-point favorites to 1-point underdogs. Is the latest spread. We're going to see some movement going around on these lines as we get closer to kickoff for sure. Big shout out to Ahuma. I see you in the chat, buddy. Big shout out to Joe Deals. I see you in the chat as well.
Joe Deals, what up, y'all?
We are moving on to the next matchup. Speaking of Ahuma, who said hashtag take command, it's going to be not that game. Sorry about that. We're going to the Bucks and the Saints.
Went to it, man.
I could have, but then I realized what we were doing. We're going to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are taking on the New Orleans Saints. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are favored by 2.5 points. The over-under in this game is kind of high, 44 points. I'm going to take... I want to take the Saints so bad. I do. I really do. I really, really do. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna go out on a limb. Give me the New Orleans Saints to take this game. At least cover the spread. All right, how about this? Give me the Saints plus 2.5.
You see, I know what you're doing here. This to cover you. That's
it's what you're doing right now. It's to cover me. It's to cover me. I'm gonna take the under 44 points though.
I'm going Bucks, and I'm going that they'll cover this. I'm taking the over in this game. They're going to break that mold of the Saints having their number and all that stuff. I can't take Jameis Winston over Tom Brady. I just can't do it. So I'm going with the Bucks in this one, man. I think that Tom Brady's going to step up this week. Last week, he didn't even have to step up against the Cowboys. This week, he's going to have to step it up against them Saints, man, and show out. So I got the Bucks in this one and the over.
All I could hear in my brain at that point in time was Mike Singletary's press conference. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Won't do it. Can't do it. Shout out Vernon Davis one time, man. Good dude.
All right, next up, we're going to go into these NFC East matchups in the 1 o'clock slot, starting with my Washington Commanders, who are 1-0, heading to Motown to face the Detroit Lions, who are 0-1. When I put this game up, the line was even. It was a pick'em. It moved from Detroit being a favorite to a pick'em. And if it's a pick'em, you already know who I'm picking. That's going to be the Washington Commanders. Give me the Washington Commanders. And I'm going to take the over 48.5. I think we're going to have a good old-fashioned Western shootout, ladies and gentlemen.
I picked you guys to win on Thursday's preview show. Y'all make sure y'all pull up on Thursday, 7 p.m. Awthentik and The Beard, the best division in football. I'm thinking about changing my pick here. I know this is rapid fire, so I got 5 seconds before we do this. I'm going with the Lions. I'm picking the Lions in this one to win this game by 3. and I'm going to take the under. 48.5, I'm going to take the under.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
I'm sorry, man, but
Spike don't care.
Big shout out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says, my deepest apologies. Can't stay in chat. Our matches same time as Giants today, and I'm on the sidelines due to injuries and not suspensions. That is a relief. Get better soon, Tuto. I know with the way that avatar looks with those pecs and abs, you should have no trouble.
Tuto kind of flexing to the side now in this one here. It was kind of more like straight on last year. I like that right there, Tuto. I see you, man. Best of luck with the game, man. I know you're going to be out. More importantly, best of luck with that injury, man. Hope you
get better soon, buddy. Get better soon. And then next up, NFC matchup to close out the 1 o'clock games. It's going to be the Carolina Panthers, who are 0-1. Ooh, that's a nice one on the graphics department. Nice one on the graphics department. They're headed to New York, the Big Apple, not really in New Jersey, but the Giants are 1-0. And apparently this line has moved at the point of publication this morning. The Giants were 1-point favorites. Apparently they are now 1-point underdogs.
Come on.
It does not matter to me. I'm taking the New York Giants no matter what the spread is to win this game. I am going to take the under 43. And I'm going to take the under 43.5.
Can't remember my score pick on Thursday.
That's what I was trying to do with my head.
Giants Nation is in the building, man. We got to go out here and get this dub. I talked about the importance of this game on Twitter, man. 2-0. Starting at 2-0 gives you a 60% chance to make the playoffs. I'm not thinking playoffs yet, but I am thinking percentages and wins. Giants got to go out here and get this win, man. Definitely got the Giants outright in this one, man. And I think it might be a little bit convincing. We'll see, man. If we can limit the big play and stop CMC, I think the Giants can win this by 10, possibly more points.
All right, moving on to the next matchup. It's going to be the Seattle Seahawks, who are 1-0, headed down to San Francisco, who is 0-1. The 49ers are a whopping 9-point favorites. The over-under in this game is 40.5. That's a very interesting spread, and I want to give a shout out to whoever decided to post the video of Trey Lance making it rain after playing in the rain, even though it wasn't after that game and it was earlier in the offseason. Just not fair to the young kid. Hopefully he comes out and has a better game here in this matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers. I do not like 9-point spread against Seattle, though. I think it may be probably more like a touchdown game. So I think Seattle covers, but I'm going to go with the Niners to win this game. And I'm going to take the over 40.5.
Yeah. Definitely taking the over 40.5. I'm going out on a limb here, man. I think the Niners are going to fall to 0-2. I'm not sold on the quarterback yet, bro. I know he was playing out there in the monsoon like we talked about. I'm not sold on the quarterback over there, and I don't feel like they got the pieces around him to be able to win despite the quarterback position. I'm taking Geno Smith and them Seahawks one time outright in this game, and I'm taking the over.
Wow. I told you what Geno said. He said they asked him, he said, what about what do you say to everybody who wrote you off? Said, good thing I ain't write them back.
Good thing I ain't write them back, Geno. That's what I'm talking about, dog. Bars out here, man.
Moving on to the next game is going to be the Atlanta Falcons, who are 0-1. They're headed to L.A. Rams are 0-1. The Rams are a whopping 10-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 46.5. Authentic, tell me what you got.
I'll tell you what I got. I got the Rams beating the brakes off the Falcons today, man. Definitely got them covering. I'm going to take the over. That offense is going to get back to that Super Bowl form. Cooper Kupp going to be out here doing some damage, and I'm looking for Robinson to get involved in this offense, man. Maybe a little Cam Akers, man. I don't like seeing Cam Akers at the bottom of the running back pool. I'm not a big fan of that. Maybe a little Cam Akers here. Henderson was getting the bulk of the carries, it seemed like, in the last game last week. But, yeah, I'm taking the Rams, man.
I am also going to agree with you on every single aspect of that. I don't know about the beating the brakes off of them. They might, need some new brake pads. But I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams to cover the 10 points. I'm going to take the over 46.5. The next game is a game I've been talking about a lot so far in this show. That is going to be the Arizona Cardinals.
Ooh, the
who
graphics
are
department.
Yeah. Fire. The Arizona Cardinals, who are headed to Vegas. They're 0-1. The Raiders are 0-1. The Raiders are favored by 5.5 points. The over-under is a whopping 51.5. Give me, I think the Cardinals cover. Give me the Raiders to win. I'm going to take the over 51.5. We got a shootout.
This is a difficult game to pick, but I think with the Cardinals inactives, it makes it a little bit easier. I'm gonna stick with the Raiders for now. It won't surprise me if the Cardinals win this game, but I'll stick with the Raiders. I think the Cardinals cover as well. And let me see. I'm gonna take just under the under. It's gonna be just
under the under.
Just under the under.
I like that. Under the under. Just a tad under the under.
Tick under.
And the last 4:00 afternoon game is going to be my Cernock and Kyle Houston Texans, who are 0-1, headed to the Denver Broncos. Shout out to Jimmy Old School Flips. He's a Broncos guy. They're 0-1. The Broncos are a whopping 10-point favorites. The over-under in this game.
What's up with all these 10-point favorites, man? What's going on here, man?
The over-under in this game is 40.5 points. There's absolutely no way I'm taking the Denver Broncos to cover 10 points because I like the Houston Texans.
You do
not
like
to win this game. Not to win this game.
Big fan of the Texans.
I am, because I put a lot of faith in that over 4.5 wins. I don't think the Texans can come out of this game with a victory. That'd be crazy if the Broncos start 0-2. Wow, the world is going to go crazy. But I do think the Texans cover that 10 points. That over under at 45.5. I'm going to pull a line out of Awthentic's lines. I'm going to go just under the under. I think we get close, but not quite there. Authentic, tell me what you got.
Yeah, I mean, this not only a must-win for the Broncos early on in the season, but you got to, show that you're one of those teams that belong. You're in a difficult division here, so it's not going to get any easier for you. You got to win these games on your schedule that you're supposed to win. I'm taking the Broncos in this one. Hopefully their head coach could get it together, man. Those blunders at the end of that last game, man, that's ridiculous at the NFL level to be making those kind of calls. You waiting 35 seconds to call a timeout before you kick a 64, 65-yard field goal. Those ain't the vibes, bro. We got kids who can make that call in Madden, bro. So I'm going Broncos here. I'm sure him and Russ had a nice little talk. Russ he's got to make a push for the playoffs, and it's going to start here with this game. I'm taking the Broncos, and I think they cover that 10.
Ooh, that's going to be an interesting one to watch for sure. And now we go to Sunday Night Football, and that is going to be the Chicago Bears, who are 1-0. They are heading to Wisconsin to face the Green Bay Packers, who are also 0-1. I don't think I had to double check and make sure I didn't mess up the records on this one. But yes, the Bears are 1-0 and the Packers are 0-1. The Packers are guess what the number is on the spread, Authentic?
10.
10.
A 10.
The Packers are 10-point favorites in Sunday Night Football. The over-under is 41.5. Authentic, tell me what you got.
Man, I'm a fan of Justin Fields. I'm really rooting for the kid, but I don't think this is going to be the day. I got to go Packers in this one, man. Looked sloppy in that week 1 L. Wide receiver dropping passes, like I said, man. Rookie wide receiver. Don't nobody say that rookie wide receiver like you say that rookie wide receiver. But I'm going to go to Packers, man. I think they'll cover, and I'm going to take the over, man. I see them getting back to their true form, scoring about 30-something in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers to win this game. I don't think they cover, though. I think they win by 9 points. I'm going to give the Packers to win by 9 points, so just under the spread.
Just under the under.
And I think we're going to go under 41.5 in this game as well. But it's going to be interesting to see is there going to be a wide receiver to step up? Somebody's got to do something. Alan Lazard most likely is going to be back in this game, though. But
who was the rookie that dropped the big pass?
Oh, that was my guy, Christian Watson, out of North Dakota State.
So let me tell you what's so funny about when he dropped that pass. The ball didn't hit his hands for but a millisecond before he was like he literally just boop, boop, right off his hands. Like the quickest drop I've ever seen in reaction I probably have ever seen in the NFL.
It's almost like he knew he was going to drop it before he dropped it.
Right, like that.
All right, it's Monday Night Football. Monday. And that's going to be the Tennessee Titans headed to Buffalo to face the Bills. Ooh, look at that, man. That is just...
We over here like sized off our own graphics. I love it.
All right. Tennessee Titans are 0-1. They're facing the Buffalo Bills, who are 1-0. And the point spread is...
10.
10. The Buffalo Bills are favored by 10 points. Give me the Buffalo Bills. Give me the Buffalo Bills minus 10. Give me under 47.5.
I'll up the ante and give them 4 more. Give me the Buffalo Bills by at least 14 in this game. I think they're going to handle business against the Titans, who I think are going to regress this year, man. Take a major step back. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year. I don't know how that even happened, how that worked out with all this firepower in the AFC, but I definitely don't see that happening this year. I got the Buffalo Bills in this game by 14, and I'm taking the over.
Ooh.
It's a big over, too, man.
That's going to be a fun one. We get double Monday Night Football this week, so that means there's another Monday Night Football game, and that Monday Night Football game is going to be the Minnesota Vikings, who are 1-0. They are facing the Philadelphia Eagles, or as Tudo likes to call them, the Stanky Bods.
Boyds.
Boyds. I can't do it. I tried.
Flying Boyd.
Boyd.
Tyler Boyd.
Boyd.
The
Philadelphia Eagles are 1-0. They are 2.5-point favorites in this game. The over-under is 50.5 points. Authentic, tell me what you got.
I'm crossing my fingers that Kirk Cousins could show up on Monday night and take care of those Eagles, man, because at the end of week 2, it would be an amazing thing to see my New York Giants sitting in first place. Whoa, that would be just like wake me up, pinch me, wake me up out of the dream vibes. I think it's going to be an incredible matchup, man. I like Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown. I think whoever has the bigger game out of them two, their team is going to win the game. And quarterback position, we know about Kirk Cousins failing under them lights. I think that's another important matchup as well against Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, I want to see him have even a better game this week. Let's see you pass that ball, prove these doubters wrong. You can make it happen in the pocket. I'm going to go ahead and take the Philadelphia Eagles in this one, as bad as I want to take the Vikings. I'll take the Vikings to cover the 2.5. 50.5. We'll get there. Taking the over.
I'm like literally exactly right with you every single step of the way. I think I'm going to take the Eagles to win. I'm going to take Minnesota to cover the spread. I think we're looking at... I'm going to change that up. I don't like it. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles to win. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles to cover the spread. And we're going to go over 50.5 points. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes Awthentic and the Beard, the Parlay Rapid Fire. It is now time to get to the chat on some questions before we get on out of here and set our own lineups here at
some good time today, man.
and the Beard.
Looking good.
Hey,
good
listen.
Hour.
When Awthentic tells the Beard something, the Beard listens and he tries to get it done. Okay, that's what makes this relationship work so well.
On time today, okay?
And shout out to everybody who's watching us right now on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. We are getting some numbers today. We love to see it.
Facts.
Whether this is your first time, your 100th time, we love it. Thank you guys for showing up to Awthentic and the Beard. Big shout out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says Authentic, we ain't worried about the game against the Carolina Pink Panther losers. Coaches need to show up and make within game adjustments, play by play, and win.
This is facts.
The game.
You got to do the same thing we did last week, man. Make those adjustments. Hopefully they happen a little bit earlier. That 13-0 vibe at half was not feeling great for me. But you're right. They got to make those adjustments, man, and be able to figure out ways to, make them adjustments. That's really what it's about, man. Them halftime adjustments is super important, and we know about that with the Giants, man. We would go into the half, 2 minutes left, allow a team to score, not make those adjustments under the Joe Judge regime. So, Brian Dable, so far so good, man. I like what I'm seeing out there, man.
Big shout out. We got a question on Twitch. Alan Lazard or Robbie Anderson?
I'd normally take Robbie Anderson, but he's going up against my Giants, so, take this with a grain of salt. I'm taking Alan Lazard on this one. But, yeah, if you really want to go with the real deal and you ain't a Giants fan, you might want to take Robbie Anderson, too. He had the big 75-yard catch from Baker last week. I'd look for them to try to work him in as far as, like, that big play guy this week. We'll see.
I am a little worried about this because I also have Alan Lazard. The only problem is Alan Lazard is playing at night, and he is questionable, even though Schefter says he is more than likely going to play. Robbie Anderson, though, outside of that 75-yard catch, was pretty much a non-factor considering everything else fantasy-wise. So I'm going to go
He had
Allen.
about a good 30 on the other 5 catches. 125, 1 touchdown. Not too bad.
It's on my bench. If he doesn't have a 75-yard touchdown catch, give me Alan Lazard, but keep your eye on the injury report for sure. And he said, or DJ Shark. Forgot to throw that one in there.
Shark was going to be one of my sleepers this week. He had a decent game last week. Shark over Robinson or over
Lazard or Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson. I said Robinson. I'm thinking Robin.
Combined them.
Dang, do I like DJ? I'm going DJ Chark. I like DJ Chark. Keep my eyes on this one too.
OMG.
Yeah, Chark had a touchdown last week.
We missed the boys versus the Bengals.
Oh yeah, we did. You reordered the games, remember? And I wasn't seeing them in that order.
That is not a we. That is a Tim, the Beard. I missed him, but we're gonna go ahead and give it to you right now, okay? Because that's what we do here.
I mean, yeah, we just didn't count that game because it's not worth it.
Yeah.
The Bengals are gonna take that win. I'm taking the over. I don't care if it's 600. I'm taking the over for the Bengals.
Yeah,
And,
the Bengals are favored by 7 points. Cooper Rush. Give me the Bengals. Give me the Bengals.
Yeah,
give me the Bengals to cover. Sorry, Kai. I know you're a big Cowboys guy, but we're gonna go Bengals here. And we won't
Cowboys
miss.
fall to 0-2. That's going to be ugly.
There, I can't highlight that one.
I tell you what, Kai, I think it'll be a little close. I think the game will be kind of close, actually. Bengals, Cowboys, I think it'll be a little bit close. We'll see.
Let me make sure I didn't miss any other questions here.
Hey, well, I thought you missed some games. I was about to say you missed some games, and we're just going to have to just miss them.
Oscar Unrated says Saquon over 55 receiving yards, over 85 rushing yards, scores 2 touchdown parlay for plus 2,800 money.
I like the bet. I do like the bet.
The tough one's going to be the 2 touchdowns.
Right. But
That's
where else
tough
is the
one.
productivity going to come from the New York Giants offense? You got wide receivers that religiously don't score touchdowns. So if the Giants are going to win this game, that stat line looks about right.
Man, that's a crazy payday right there.
Love
if you
it.
took that Oscar Unrated, I hope you hit it. I hope if he puts up those numbers, mine might win some DraftKings money too. So let's go, Saquon Barkley. Put those numbers up. We got another question from Bad Leroy Will Jones. Says Marquise Brown or Brandon Cooks?
Yeah, you was high on Marquise Brown week 1. I'm going Brandon Cooks, man. I think it's more of a reliable tandem with him and your boy Davis Mills over there. Marquise Brown, I don't know if they quite got the chemistry over there yet, but Brandon Cooks, we know what he does. He probably get a touchdown at least.
I'm going to actually go Marquise Brown just because I think that game is going to be super high scoring, and there's no wide receivers over there except for my boy Greg Dortch.
Dortch.
So just everybody keep your eye on the Dorchman.
Dortch and Dortch.
Dorchmaster. Dorchmaster McGee for a touchdown and 100 yards. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Sebastian says he's swapping Darrell Henderson for injured Keenan Allen is good over Elijah Moore 100%.
Yep,
Totally
love
agree with
love
that move. Oscar Unrated says Darnell Mooney or Brandon Ayuk. That's a good one.
That is a really good one. The Bears, what's the Bears matchup against the Packers?
Yeah.
Ayuk's going up against
Seattle.
I picked them to lose. I'm going Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney's more of a number 1, going to get the targets, I feel like.
I like Mooney in this as well. I think
and the
Mooney,
quarterback, man, that quarterback over there, he ain't it yet. He ain't ready yet. He looked like a what was the league that the Washington Commanders was in before? They had
XFL?
What was their name?
The Defenders?
Yeah, he could play for the
that
Defenders
league is
right
coming
now.
back, and the Defenders are back. So
Yeah, I saw The Rock and somebody else are involved in that.
Yeah. So
buying
we
the
got to
league.
catch another game.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was a lot of fun. DJ over 204.5.
Book it.
Book it. Yeah, I think
Book
they go. I think they go over also. I'm gonna have to agree with that. Kai said he wants some Kool-Aid since we disrespected the Dallas Cowboys like that. Oh, Sabrina's got a good one. Marquise Brown or T. Higgins? T. Higgins, I believe, is playing today after the concussion.
Is he playing?
He is playing.
That's crazy. They be talking all this concussion, CTE nonsense, and a dude get a concussion, he right back out there the following week. I'm going Marquise Brown in that matchup.
I'm going to go Marquise Brown also just because of the matchup and nobody else out there playing with him. T. Higgins has Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. So I'm going to go with Marquise Brown in that matchup. Shout out to the Wiffle Ball League, SWL. I'm assuming that is a Wiffle Ball League logo, and there's some sort of international Wiffle Ball League, which is
Turn up,
awesome.
man. Awthentik and The Beard. We need a team in that Wiffle Ball League. I like that.
Kyler Murray or Russ Wilson?
I'm going Russ.
I'm going to go Russ as well. I'm going to go
I know
Russ
you like the
as well.
Cardinals matchup, and they're going to be throwing that rock a lot, but I just think Russ, man, it's a prove-it game here. He's going to show up, man. He had 300 last week, too.
Ooh, this is a good one. Curtis Samuel, Allen Robinson, or Brandon Ayuk?
Curtis Samuel.
I'm going to go Curtis Samuel also.
I
All
like
right,
the
we
other
got
two,
it. That's a tough one. Listen. Curtis Samuel put up the numbers in week 1. I like Ayuk. I do like Brandon Ayuk. If I had to put him in order, I'd put Curtis Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and then Allen Robinson. That's the order.
And watch out for Curtis Samuel around the goal line, getting some touches in the backfield too.
Yeah, definitely something you got to keep your eye out on for is the innovation, hopefully, of this new and improved Commanders offense. Kenny Galladay, 3 catches today.
Yeah, he had 2 last week. I'll give him 3 this week. And I think Kenny Galladay is going to. One of these wide receivers got to get in the end zone. Either Galladay or Kadarius Toney. One of them got to get in this week. I'm sick of seeing these weeks go by and no wide receivers catching touchdowns.
I wanted to send you this clip. I was watching. Shout out Joe Holka, and I was watching. He has one of his guests on, and they were talking about Kadarius Toney, and they were baffled and mind boggled like everybody else was. I think why he wasn't getting more action in that game. He said when Kadarius Toney was on the field, he looked like he was playing a different sport than everybody else.
That's how he looking, man.
I mean, I heard that and I was like, man, that is just a really great way of putting that.
Yeah, that's really how he looking. He just got to stay healthy, man. That's all it is.
It was crazy. One more from Bad Leroy Will Jones says Dawson Knox or Logan Thomas. Give me Logan Thomas.
Give me Dawson Knox. Bill's gonna turn up today.
Interesting. Oh, big shout out to Nick the Wick for the $1.99 super chat. Says Miles Sanders, Drake. I'm assuming that's Kenyon Drake. Or Curtis Samuel for the flex.
Drake. Curtis Samuel. Kenyon Drake, though, man.
Yeah, no J.K. Dobbins. No J.K. Dobbins.
He's only been there for a couple of weeks, but they seem like they like his skill set. He's going to be getting the ball. So I'd either go Samuel or Drake. I like Samuel, though, I think.
I'm right there with you. I'm going to go Samuel 1A, Drake 1B. Big shout out to Sebastian for the $1.99 super chat. Says tough one. Daniel Jones or Cooper Rush for QB1. That's an easy one. Give me Daniel Jones.
Dang. Somebody else said this in the chat, too. QB1? Yeah, that's what you working with. You working with shambles right now at QB1.
You know what that is? I can tell you what that is. That's Dak Prescott was your starting quarterback.
Good God. Daniel Jones and Cooper Rush. Daniel Jones is going to have a big day today. I hope so, man. I really do. So I'd go Jones. I mean, Cooper Rush back up. Yeah. Had that big game against the Vikings when he filled in for Dak Prescott last year, but I'm still going with my man Daniel Jones.
Let me just say something.
Be
careful. To all the content creators out there with rolling chairs and bedroom slippers, be careful, okay?
Oh, this dude. He got on bedroom slippers right now, but probably got pajamas on.
Nah, I got on neon green camo shorts, son.
Okay. Neon green camo. I don't know what that looked like, but
oh man, you got anything you want to put on some final touches before we get these lovely folks out here?
I want to know what the chat thinks about this one. What's my man from Atlanta? Drake London, or Melvin Gordon?
Drake.
That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know, because I'm struggling. Or Hunter Renfrow. Why I keep wanting to say London Drake? Drake London or Melvin Gordon the third.
Rozelle
likes London. David likes Drake.
I'm going Drake. I'm going Drake London. London.
Y'all gonna make me make that switch? I tried the Mecole Hardman thing. That did not work out too well for me. He only had
Renfro, though.
Renfro. Yeah, I got Renfro as well. Lucas likes London over Renfro. Drake
yes.
with the question mark. Yo, Soldier Boy's that guy. He's a goat.
Sounds like it defeats the purpose.
I know, right? Neon camo, like you trying to hide, but you want to be loud out here. I don't get it either.
Oh, man.
So we like Drake?
Everybody is looking
Tom's
like
World,
a lot of Drake.
Too. I see you, Tom's World. Jihad Ward is the key to this defense, man. He was lit last week, man. I love some of those sound bites from the New York Giants sights and sounds, man. These guys is goons. That's exactly what I want on the sideline. I want goons out there making plays. Big dogs. I need a roo over here on this board one time, dog.
Yo, shout out.
Wait, shout out to my girlfriend one time because she said we have to have a date night and watch Friday. So we watched Friday the other night for the first time in like 15 years, man. And rest in peace to Pops, man. He was great. He was great in that movie, man. Big dogs.
One of the best. One of the best. And I will tell you, based on your guys' recommendation, I believe it was you guys, Josie, my lovely wife, and I, we actually did a movie night the other night. We watched 3 movies in one night.
Oh, that was going crazy.
We watched the Kevin Hart, Mark Wahlberg movie.
Oh, yeah, that joint was pretty funny. It was pretty. It had them Kevin Hart vibes, and it was pretty funny.
That's it, man. Like, I don't know what it is. Kevin Hart gives me that Chris Tucker, Mike Epps, where it's just like you could put them in any plot, and the way that they just do it, it's funny. Like it's always
what else did y'all watch?
Funny. We watched what other movies did we watched? We watched 2 other movies, and I can't remember. That was the one that stood out to me. It is horrible.
Have y'all watched Nope?
We watched
Peele, Nope.
No, I haven't. She saw it in theaters.
Watch that.
She said she didn't like it.
Watch it again.
Not necessarily that she didn't like it, but it's not as good as the other 2.
Yeah, but that's not saying much. That's like saying Michael Jordan's fourth quarter performance. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Peele is the GOAT, dog. Yeah. He is the GOAT.
I can't remember. Now I feel bad. I can't remember the other one. The other one was a chick flick. We watched
while you think about it, I need to reiterate this real quick for you. Make sure you go watch Nope because it's a movie for the people that are deep thinkers. It's not at surface value. A lot of people I see are saying, oh, it's all right, it's all right. If you really catch the plot, bro, it's definitely for deep thinkers, man. It's got the Vanilla Sky vibes to me. Definitely check it out.
Oh, okay. I'm in. I mean, his stuff is great, too. It's usually shot really well also.
Oh, and it's shot they shot it all on film on a IMAX film camera. So, like, it's amazing as far as the way it's shot.
Oh, I thought my dog was coming in through the door.
You said dog like he was like, "Aroo," when you know that little dog be, when you come in the door. But, man, that's it for me, man. I mean, I'm feeling good about this game, man. 7 minutes. I'm glad we finished up a little bit early here. Fantasy is one thing, man. I'm more worried about the real games this week, man. The New York Giants got to get this dub. 1 o'clock, Giants and Commanders are going to be playing here. And I'm glad we get to save the Eagles for Monday night. That's awesome. Cowboys are at 4, I believe.
Yep, Cowboys are at 4.
So I'll put y'all on this 1 o'clock local game here on Fox probably, get my streams ready and whatnot, man. But I'm looking forward to the Giants, man. Big week, man. Big week for the NFC East, man. This is a staple week here. I'm really looking to come out 2-0. 1-1, I can handle it, but 2-0 will be amazing.
Listen, if Washington and New York Giants come out 2-0, it's going to be an insane week here at Awthentik and The Beard because it's going to be an insane week anyways. But, man, we go 2-0? What?
Yeah, I like how you
Sound
said that.
the alarm.
We go 2-0. But shout out to all the new subscribers too, man. We've been booming, man, this week, man. And just shout out to everybody who's new to the channel. Welcome to the fam, man. It's been a great journey, man, so far. I'm grateful that you asked me to do this podcast way back when. And, we didn't get started like too late. I feel like, and not that it's too late to start a podcast now, but I just feel like had we have started right now and been trying to truck and get to 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours and all that, man, with all the traffic within the content creator space right now, man, it would just make that job more difficult. We already got all our day ones lined up and a lot of family in the building. And just shout out to everybody who's new. It's just popping up, man. It's been a great 2 weeks here at Awthentik and The Beard, I must say, man.
Yeah, big shout out to everybody in the chat. We definitely appreciate all the love and all the support. Big shout out to Stephen Lilly for the £5 super chat. says, "Hiya, boys. I had movie night the other day. We went Denzel with Equalizer 1 and 2 and Training Day. Man, you got the full experience. Solid lineup."
Yeah, that's a solid lineup right there, man. Denzel definitely a GOAT, man. I need to catch up on some Denzels. I might go watch that Equalizer.
He's another guy. Any movie you can watch Denzel Washington in. But I will tell you, oldie, Pelican Brief is one of my favorite Denzel Washington movies. Shot here in Washington, D.C.
John Q is another sleeper. That was
man, that one gets you right there.
Yeah, it hits you right there.
Big shout out to David for the $4.99 says super chat. Says, "Go Giants, go Commanders, whoop, Eagles, pigeons, and cowgirls. Go Big Blue."
Yeah, if you pay that super chat, we're going to show it. It is what it is. You know what it is. Shout out David one time, man. Glad David could make a lot of these streams this year. I know last year the job was getting in the way and whatnot, man. But yeah, by all means, we got to get this football out. You know what I mean? This content is important, man. Appreciate you pulling up and showing some love, man. Got to get this win, The Beard. Got to get this win. I hope it starts off well. I just want a good game. I want either a blowout or a good game. Don't have the Carolina Panthers come in here, go up 14-0 on my Giants, man. I'll be very upset.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride here.
Yeah, I'm a little more worried for y'all. I think, with Detroit's offense and being that they hung in that game with the Eagles last week and Jared Goff was like 11 of 22, I believe it was. It's interesting, man. So if he can get it clicking, it's gonna be tough for y'all.
Swift's a little banged up, so that's one thing to keep your eye on for sure for the Washington Commanders Detroit Lions matchup.
Yeah, man. Good show, man. Good show. I'm well. I needed that. I needed a very paced. I'm very well rested. I got some good sleep last night, man. I went to bed nice and early, man. Wasn't up late. Shout out to the graphics department. The email stopped around 11 p.m. You know what I'm saying? So I knew we were good to go with that, man. But definitely a solid look, man, because this game is it's got me on edge. I'm extremely worried. I'm just extremely worried, man.
It's gonna be a nail biter. Back and forth. Hey, big shout out to the homie Paulie for the $2 super chat. Says Soldier Story HTTW. Paulie says hail to the W. 2-0, baby. Let's go, Paulie. Let's go.
I'm rooting for y'all, man. I picked the Lions. I think I just think they might beat y'all, but I'm going to be rooting for y'all, man. Y'all games have came down to the wire, it seems like, the past 8 games dating back to last season, man. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It's a good week. I don't want y'all to win and my Giants lose. I'm going to feel some kind of way. Rich homie Quan, you know what I'm saying? Some type of way.
We gonna see.
We gonna see, man. But y'all know what it is, man. We appreciate everybody pulling up, man. We had around over 70 this whole entire show, man. That's big love, man. We appreciate it. Couldn't do this show without y'all. Y'all know what it is over here at Awthentik and The Beard, man. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams, man. Only you can be the best you, my G. So maximize your potential out here, man. Nobody gonna take your place on this earth, bro. So make sure you do that for yourself. Y'all know what it is, man. One more time before we get out of here, let's see them biceps in the chat. Shout out to my co-host, the best co-host in the damn country, The Beard. Left side.
Strong side.
Hopefully they show up today, man. Y'all know what it is. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams, man. Until Monday, we will see y'all on the Giant Overreaction. Tuesday for the recaps. Cross your fingers, man, that we get these W's, man. We will see y'all on Monday. Y'all be good until then. Enjoy your fantasy. Enjoy your football weekend. Hopefully we get another victory week. Longest week ever. Longest week ever. Literally, man. Y'all be good, man. We'll see y'all on Monday. Peace.